Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I want to give you an update on my Red Sea. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I want to give you an update on my Red Sea Reefer 625 and where it stands. And so if you look in here, I do have a bit more corals in here. And what I've been doing is I've been moving a lot of the corals from the Red Sea Reefer 170 over to the 625 XXL setup here. And I've been cutting them, fragging them, and mounting them on to the rocks here. I've been dipping them with Bayer or inside Bayer and Coral RX, just to make sure that I don't bring anything unwanted from the Red Sea 170 over to this tank setup. And then to hold the corals in place, I use the Instant Ocean Hold Fast epoxy. They run about $5, so not too bad. So I've been using that to get all the corals mounted, and they've been starting to show some growth. So I did ran into a bit of an issue here. My calcium reactor was set at about 15 milliliters per minute, and what was happening was the corals were growing, and so they were sucking up all the alkalinity and the calcium, magnesium, and I didn't pay attention to that for about a month. And so what happened was my alkalinity is typically set at 8.5, and it was holding steady there for a while until I started adding all the corals in. And I should have just monitored weekly and adjusted the calcium output or the calcium reactor output, but I didn't. And so now I'm slowly playing catch up. Alkalinity dropped all the way down to 7. And so I am slowly starting to increase the output of the calcium reactor up to 30 milliliters and see where that gets me in the next week or two here. So hopefully it'll bring my parameters back up to 8.5 to where I want it to be. But aside from that, it has also been getting hot here in California. So on those days where the temperature reached over 100, my tank actually rose up to about 81 degrees. And so I had to adjust my alarm with my Apex and set it up to 82 before I get warnings. I was using the air conditioning to, set the house temperature down to 78, but just didn't want to run into any issues of power outages if I set it a bit lower, so I left it at 78. But with the tank sitting right next to two big windows, it did generate a bit of a heat to the tank, and the temperature rose up to 81. But for the most part, it didn't go beyond 81. And usually by nighttime it'll drop down to about 79, 80. So the other thing is that with the heat outside, my water changing system outside has been pretty warm. It was up in the mid 80s to high 90s during the day, and so I typically do water changes on the weekend every other week, or at least once a month, but I haven't done one for about 2 months now. And the reason being is that the water is just too hot. I'd have to cool it down somehow, and I don't have anything to cool it down. So usually what I typically do is I would wait and do it in the morning when it's much cooler, but I just have been busy over the weekend, so I haven't had a chance. So my tank is due for a water change, but so far the tank has been looking healthy, so I haven't touched it since, but I will probably get one done soon. The other thing that I have noticed is that the chaeto growth, which I haven't really been paying attention to, but if you watch my previous video, I only put a few strands of chaeto inside my refugium section or area of this sump because I wanted to make sure it was pest free. And so now it's fully covered, and I'm going to start trimming. So it's pretty crazy how that growth just takes off when you have tanks inside the tank, but that's part of it, and that's what's helping me control my nitrate, my phosphate. So I am just stoked that the chaeto has taken off, and now I can really absorb all those excess nutrients out of my tank. Skimmer, I do weekly skimmer cleaning, so I still keep that routine because it does get filled in, and it does fill up pretty quick, up to around halfway, and I don't like to get beyond the halfway mark on the cup. So typically I'll take it out, clean it out, make sure it's ready to start on another week's worth of skimming. Next thing to note is that the frag tank is finally up, and I have frags in there from my Red Sea Reefer 170, and so I'm just gonna let them sit there and give them some time to adjust and to grow. But I am only running a AI Soul Blue Prime light, and I want to get that swapped out to a Hydra 32 or a Hydra 52, so whatever I can get my hands on. Hopefully if I sell the Red Sea Reefer 170, I can use that light, which is the Hydra 52, throw that in the frag tank so that I get better coverage and of course less shadowing. So basically, in a nutshell, that is where I'm at. I'm starting to see some growth, and what I'll do is I'll focus on possibly getting some macro or close-up shots if I can of the corals, and then maybe do a comparison before and after to see what kind of growth we are getting. So anyhow, guys, thanks for stopping by. This is the update to the Red Sea Reefer 625. Let me know if you have any questions down below. Like always, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate that, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.